Islam and greetings. Princeanaelbey, divine prince of the prophets, divine theocracy of the Moorish Science Temple of America through Temple Alhambra. And I pray that you all have been good to one another. I truly do. I also pray that you all have been taking my instructions to heart. It is for your salvation. This will be a rest of the session, and it will cover a couple of prior videos. I'll begin with the video where I revealed to you some things about my purpose here. And in that video, I instructed you, after I told you that I came here in the year 69, I instructed you to pull the 6 and the 9 apart and stand them both on end. If you did that, what you would come up with was the number 9 2 times. Now, in science, because I'm not going to prove anything to you, that ain't my job, proving nothing to you. That ain't my job. But I am to send you messages. And signs and symbols are for the conscious mind. If you stood the 6 and the 9 on end, what you would get is the number 9 twice. Now, because I'm not going to prove anything to you, if you were to be conscious enough to think, one of the things which would have occurred to you is, I am here under the highest degree, which is the number 9. And in descending order, before that 9 comes the number 10. And because the number 10 represents the prophet's old age number, which is now called Social Security number. Then it was called an OAN, an old age number. That 9 is directly below the 10, twice. 10, 10, 9, 9. What is it you so-called scientists do not see? Because I ain't gonna prove nothing to you. But if you could think, then you could at least employ some aspect of the 8th degree, which I have given you. You still refuse to see how what I say to you is in your best interest and for your benefit. I am now spelling out the science of everything to you. My 9 is directly under the prophet. What does that suggest to you? It ought to suggest to you what I have been telling you. Allah first sent you a prophet whom you jacked over quite handily. After he sent the prophet, he sent an archangel. That is why my 9 succeeds his 10. Because it is in descending order. My 9 is under his 10. And for those of you who employed thought, you would have seen that. I am not here to lie to you. I've got better things to do with my time. I've got much better things to do with my time. I have a job to do. You used to be my job. Till I fell in love with you. You just grew on me. But getting back to these signs and symbols, which you all cannot read, which is why I knew that what you weren't was advanced enough. That is what I knew. And there are others who actually believe that you were. I've been here with you. I see you. I live with you. I live among you. I know. They just had hope. Do you know what the word hope actually means? As I have seen it here. The word hope, H-O-P-E, it's an acronym. You all use it as a word of inspiration, and you got no faith, so nothing can inspire you. You're just a bunch of... Anyway, the word hope is an acronym for hold on to your pitiful expectations of man. That's what the word hope actually stands for. Hold on to your pitiful expectations of man. And where signs and symbols are concerned, the earthquake of Miami happened on which number day? The 28th. That's right. To you scientists. 8 plus 2 equal what? To you scientists, equal what? 10. What does the 10? Well, I know it didn't say anything to you, but what should the 10 have told you if you are employing the 8th degree? What did the 10 tell you? The prophet is leading the way. The prophet is leading the way. I told you before, Temple Alhambra is guided by the spirit of the prophet. You all don't see that, couldn't see that, so I figured I'd better spell it out to you morons. Because you're never going to get it going the way you are. You need Temple Alhambra. Oh, you need the prophet's temple. Yes, you do. You need it now more than you ever did. Let me get back to these signs and symbols that you all just can't seem to get. They are as elementary as breathing, and yet you do not get them. This is why I know you are not as advanced as others believe you to be. You don't get the simplest messages. Not the simplest messages do you get. The earthquake occurred on the 28th, which translates into 10. Meaning, in the name of the prophet, I do this. It was Allah's will. No one was injured. Because I have told you what we do when we come. We do have discretion. And I use mine to send a message to man without interrupting his life. Without disrupting his life whatsoever. The impossible occurred. we'll get on to that. Back to these signs and symbols that you all do not get. It said nothing to you. It said nothing to you, scientists. 7.7. That said absolutely nothing to you, huh? It was as simple as I could make it. In it was also that message that I removed from the video, from that video that I removed. That message too, that more, is also in there. 7.7. The message to him is in there, is in that message. I mean, this is what you should have garnered from the day I got here. The number 69. It's simple science. And it is right there before you. And you still refuse to see. I mean, did the 7.7 say nothing to you? Didn't tell you anything, huh? Yes. Yes, I believe that it did say nothing to you because you are the faithless. You are the faithless. I mean, did you not see my signature on it? Did you not see my signature on it? My signature was a message. It was another message wrapped in a message. And so you didn't see my signature. Oh, okay. All right. And if any of you think you did see my signature, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think my signature was. Because you all saw this. This happened in your lifetime. You witnessed this. You witnessed this. You witnessed this. Not one brick was moved out of place. Not one brick. Not one gigantic tsunamic wave washed over Miami. Not one. Not one. Not one. No one was hurt or injured. Now, having seen this yourself, you know what they would call that, in days of old, don't you? You know what they would call that in days of old, don't you? And you still are not trying to know your Father God, Allah. You're still not trying to know him. Do you not think that it was because my will was in sync with the will of Allah that no one died? A 7.7 earthquake, it levels entire cities. It levels kingdoms. It levels kingdoms. 7.7. The one which took out San Francisco totally was a 9, if memory serves. If memory serves. It still didn't stop San Francisco from becoming another Sodom, though. It didn't stop it from becoming that. It was supposed to help guide San Francisco to the more enlightened and uplifting aspects. Yeah, but, you know, you all got a hold of it, and of course, you ruined it. And if you look at San Francisco today, you will see why it will have to be literally washed. Literally, if you've ever seen the streets of San Francisco. But getting back to signs and symbols and other things that you do not know nor care to know, obviously. And these things are obvious because you do nothing. You do nothing except hurt yourselves in myriad ways. Despite what I know you all are and what I know you to be, my love for you has no end. And besides, I got a bet down on y'all. I mean, come on. I got a bet down on y'all. And my brothers are hard bettors. They don't bet on nothing but sure things. That is why the odds are not in your favor. Those angels know. Well, I know too. They're not the only ones who know. They know only because they're up there. They're over there. That's why they know. Me, I got to learn it through trial with you because I am one of you. And you see, I'm going to give you this key to life. And it's a very simple one. And it goes like this. Your will to live must be stronger than something else or someone else's desire to see you otherwise. That is a key of life. When you see disaster looming and you have foreknowledge of it, isn't it in your best interest to take the knowledge that you have and apply it to your present situation so that you stand more than an equal chance of escaping to continue on your path? Doesn't it make more sense to do that than watch disaster coming and stand there watching it? Doesn't the former sound more like something that is more applicable to living one's life? I want you Moors, amalgamated Moors, Asiatic Moors. I want you all to think. I want you all to think. Those of you who have no faith, you will continue to think that this is all just a coincidence. Even with my signs in the message, you will think that it's all a coincidence because, you know, coincidences do happen, don't they? That's just by happenstance. Yeah. And nobody got hurt. You know what they would call that in days of old, don't you? I don't have to say it because you know what it would be called. That's what they called it when we did stuff. When we showed them things then. That's the word they used for it. When there was no loss of life. Or what was absolutely going to happen did not happen. Just a hair before it was going to happen. They had a word for those events. They had a word for them. That word could also be applied to what occurred on the 28th of January in the year 2020. I just saw a clip from the news, and I had to chuckle. I was pleased. I was pleased with the work. The only thing I saw was a swimming pool and the water being jostled about in it. Not a crack in the building. Not a crack in the building. There is only one word that could be used for that. No loss of life. No cars even crashed into one another to fatalities. None of that occurred. And still you saw nothing. Still you saw nothing. Your will, it is all because of your will. You have been demonstrated to what happens when you put your will in sync with the will of Allah. He did not want any disasters. This is not the time for that. That's not even what he's got for you. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. That was just me demonstrating something. Do you know nothing, do nothing? Don't know anything, and I use the word know in place of belief. I don't like using that word. And I substitute the word know for belief. And because you all don't know anything, because you see, you don't walk by faith anymore. You walk by sight. And if you don't see it, you don't know it. Well, on the 28th, you witnessed something. I'm still not going to say that word, but it is applicable. It is applicable. Because that is exactly what it was, using your term. That is exactly what it was. And yet you still do not know your Father God, Allah. Well, since he doesn't have anything to do with this running bet that I got with my brothers, I'm simply going to play it out with them. And you all are going to come out on top because you have no choice. I think it will be tomorrow. I will have the logistics and the plans for the meeting so that we can discuss this action that will take place downtown at the Federal Building, which is, of course, the aperture for the corporation. And that is who the message is to, not that particular building. It is only a symbol, and symbolically it stands as an agent for the corporation known as the United States of America. And so that is why the Federal Building, not because they've done anything wrong. They ain't doing nothing more than what they think they should do for the master they serve. You can't blame them for that. That's ridiculous. They're functionaries of a larger machine. They're not to be blamed for anything except for the decisions that they make from those empowered to decide the fate of others in that building. Other than that, that building is only a symbol. Only a symbol. I need for you all to know the date that I choose, it will be in science. And I mean for the meeting. I already know where. I already have the where. It is the when that I'm working on now. And I will tell you, it may not be, this meeting, it may take place in the most inclement weather. But again, there ain't nothing easy about hard work. And one thing you had better know now, freedom ain't free. Freedom ain't free. There's a price to be paid for it. And your convenience on whatever day the meeting takes place, it just may be one of those things you have to sacrifice for the greater good of others. We'll come to that. Again, the Drew called for all strong men and women. You are amalgamated Moors and you are Asiatic Moors. You adapt. It's in you to do that. The only way it will be inconvenient for you to make that meeting is that you are lazy and you would rather have someone else shoulder your share of this load, even though your posterity will benefit from the hard work and the duty of others. Because this is how you are so used to living your miserable lives. I'm going to say to you what the prophet told the people in his day. If you think your condition can be better, join the Moorish Science Temple of America. That is what the prophet said. And everything that you do under the Moorish Science Temple of America through Temple Alhambra will be in keeping with what your real job is here, because nobody bothered to tell you. Nobody bothered to tell you that your real job here is to fulfill the prophecies. Nobody told you that because they didn't know. They kept running around like rats, chasing their tails, saying the same thing week in, week out, doing nothing, producing nothing, manufacturing nothing, but running, chasing their tails week in, week out, and they think that that is Moorish science or a Moorish Science Temple. That they have faith in. Well, they were shown something on the 28th. And tomorrow when I make that video, I'm going to give you the place and I'm going to give you the time. And if you are anywhere near Chicago on that date, we invite you to be there. And if you come to the meeting and you do not make it to Chicago the day of the action, what we will know is the spirit of those who came to that meeting will be with us when we commit this action, when we do this action. The spirit of those who were at the meeting will be with us. And we will need that because we are going to enlighten the subjects of Rome. The details I will spell out at the meeting. And tomorrow I will have the date. I have to consult with a couple of things. But you all remember, Amalgamated Moors, Asiatic Moors. This is it. This is it. And you Asiatic Moors, if you have amalgamated Moorish honchos, friends, partners, what have you, you let them know that this involves them too. And they need to be at that meeting. They need to be at that meeting. You bring them. And you let them know that this involves them too. I will end this. I will end this. And I pray to Almighty Allah that this gets through to you. I really do. I love you all so much. My heart aches for you right now. It aches for you. That's how badly I want you to win this thing. I could care less if I won. That will bring me no joy. What will bring me joy when you cross that finish line first? What will bring me joy is I knew you had it in you all the time. That is what will bring me joy. Not the knowledge that I've out-gambled my brothers. No, that is not the joy. The joy will be knowing that you finally saw in you what I see in you every day. Moors, make Pops proud. Let him know you can do this. Let him know you can do this. Because I know you can. You all be good to one another. You love one another. And protect one another. Like, share, and subscribe. And Moors, I will get back to you with another video. I bid you all peace, angels. I am so uplifted right now by having spoken to you. And so let me get this silly grin off this camera because I can barely contain myself. Peace.